Hello, I'm Dr. Ryan Flannery. I wanted to give everyone an update on current status, where we're at with COVID vaccines, as well as some new issues that have come up, including the COVID-19 virus and specifics regarding viral mutations. So let's talk again real quick to give everyone an overview. Let's talk about where we're at with the vaccines. So right now we have 2 vaccines options that are being given right now as we speak. They are based on a technology using messenger RNA to prompt an immune response to the body to fight off and prevent COVID-19 infections. These are 2 vaccines, one from Pfizer and one from Moderna. Most of the staff at our hospital, as well as most of the people in our community, have been given the Moderna vaccine currently because it's easier to store at it's not as cold temperature storage as the Pfizer vaccine is. But either way, these are the 2 vaccines that are on docket right now. And I'm going to talk about how we're going with the vaccinations, using those in a minute. But I want to talk about a couple other things coming down the pike that I think people have been hearing about. And it involves other types of vaccines that most likely will hit the market and be emergency authorized at some point in the near future. You have a category of vaccines called viral vector vaccines that one company, Johnson & Johnson, and another company, AstraZeneca, are at the very end stages of their phase 3 trials. They use a virus, most of the time a virus that doesn't cause problems in humans, but can infect other animals like chimpanzees. And they take these viruses that don't cause problems to humans, and they put this messenger RNA material into this virus. It's the same messenger RNA material that's in these encapsulated vaccines that were already given. But this messenger RNA, once again, gets into the body through this viral vector, almost like a Trojan horse. What's hidden in this virus is this messenger RNA that tells the cells to make a protein, the spike protein that lines the COVID virus, okay? So this viral vector, once it gets into the body, the virus does its work by getting into the cells, and it releases this messenger RNA, and the cells then start to create this protein at huge amounts. And the protein is then what causes your immune reaction to build up immunities to the spike proteins. And once again, that antibody gives you protection from COVID-19 going forward. Johnson & Johnson's vaccine is interesting. It's a 1-dose series versus a 2-shot series. So if people get 1 dose, it will give protection over a couple weeks, similar to what it's giving protection-wise with 2 shots in the other categories. AstraZeneca currently is being given in the UK, and right now it's being submitted to the FDA in the future here for potential emergency authorization use. The current Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which is the 1-dose vaccine, is currently being looked at right now by the FDA, and that process is going to probably be out in the next week or 2. These vaccines are a little bit different from the current vaccines is because these vaccines also can be stored at refrigerated temperatures, not freezing temperatures. So these are much easier to store, they last, they have a longer shelf life to them, and so they're a little more ease in giving them because you're not having to worry about the freezing process you have to worry about with these. A third vaccine category that I think will also be available by this summer, I suspect, is a form of a vaccine that's a recombinant vaccine. This is a very similar vaccine type that we use in other diseases like Gardasil or flu vaccines use this technology as well. But it gives essentially excess amounts of just the spike protein by itself in the vaccine, along with another chemical called an adjuvant, something that the body reacts to very violently. But if it's reacting to the adjuvant as well as potentially like spike proteins, it can mount an immune response in the same way that we're getting an immune response from these other 2 categories. The company is Novavax that's put this out, and right now it's in phase 3 trials, and the university is one of the spots that this vaccine is being studied right now. And it is a 2-dose series, but this vaccine also is stored at much easier temperatures to store, so it makes it easier for storage and supplying it as well. But either way, looking at the vaccines, the 2 that are out now, I have a feeling that we will have opportunities to have maybe 2 or 3 other vaccines on the horizon as options for people to get vaccinated from COVID-19. Let's talk about where we're at with vaccinations. So right now, we are giving out Moderna and Pfizer vaccines. I just got on the totals this morning, and we're over now 43 million people in the United States that have been vaccinated. That's just the United States alone. But I want to talk about when people are getting this vaccine, what are they noticing? What are they experiencing? So by and large, most people are finding that they're having very mild symptoms with this vaccine, especially after the first dose. They maybe have a little bit of a sore arm. They maybe have a little bit of feeling a little bit flu-like symptoms, but lasts very short period of time, 12 to 24 hours at the most. We are finding that after the second vaccine dose is given, your body seems to mount a greater response to it. So people have reported, I would say 1 in 3 people reporting a greater amount of symptoms, including maybe low-grade fevers, headaches, chills, body aches, fatigue, and that seems to last 12 to 36 hours, somewhere in that window after they get the vaccine. But then after that, those symptoms are quickly gone. We have not seen any allergic reactions since we've given the vaccine in our county directly. There have been some slight reported cases of allergic reaction, but the data is extremely compelling, and I think what the data is showing, both during the studies as well as now with our vaccine process ongoing, is that there have been extremely powerful individual protection given to people who get this vaccine against COVID-19. And here's what I want to show you. This is just looking at the trials that have gone on for all 5 of these vaccines I just talked about. And you can see the approximate number of people that are listed. They're in the tens of thousands of people that have already gotten these vaccines, 2 vaccines if need be, and already gone through the studies to look to see how they're doing. And of all of those people, in all of the studies combined, we have seen 0 people who have been hospitalized from COVID who have received these vaccines. We have seen 0 people die from COVID-19 who've gotten these vaccines. We have seen 0 people die directly from the vaccines that have been given to these people. These are just looking at people in the studies. We now have over 43 million people who have gotten the vaccine, and we have not seen people die from this vaccine. We have not seen people get hospitalized and have severe COVID if they finish their vaccine series. So I think the driving point home is these vaccines are extremely powerful for the individual that gets this vaccine. More so than we probably ever could have guessed, is that if I get the vaccine, I am arming myself with armor to protect myself from ever having to struggle with a severe COVID infection going forward. And if you think about it, if I get the vaccine and you get the vaccine and your family gets the vaccine, everybody then is armed and have armor now to protect them from getting sick. And if we can do that exponentially with everybody in our community putting on this armor of protection from vaccinations, it's only going to protect us all from having to deal with COVID-19 in this capacity going forward.